podcast chairs here. So I'm feeling like all is right in the world again. And we are going to be cashing tickets all over the place tonight for a couple game sixes. As always, today's podcast is presented by Props.Cash. We 100% could not do what we do without Props.Cash. So if you think you're ready to level up your prop betting game, use code PTM at sign up to get 25% off your first month. How are you, my friend? Are you feeling as good as I am about being back in the seat here to discuss some NBA playoffs, especially with our Knicks and a huge game 6 tonight in Philly? What's going on?
I'm very pumped up. We just to share a little bit about last night. We actually had a meeting with all of our contributors from the PTM Discord. We all jumped onto a Google Meet last night and kicked around some ideas and just got to have a good time. A couple of the guys that are part of the Discord went and put together an awesome ladder play for baseball this morning and cashed that. So I feel like there's really good positive momentum, and I feel like we're gonna do the same on the NBA side. So I'm ready for it.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
All right, do it.
So we are at the point of the season where there's really just not that many games, right? We still got 2 games a night.
Yep.
Most of the teams from the first round have advanced. We got a couple games going on. What do we have? Three series that are still going on.
These two tonight.
Series.
Then Orlando, Cleveland, and what's the other one? Oh, Dallas Clippers. Yeah.
That I think is actually the best series. Although this Knicks one is phenomenal. But
yeah.
Anyway, let's get into it. So we got our 6:30 game. Milwaukee at Indy. Indy's up 3-2 in this series. So game 6 tonight. Indy is -6.5 in this game, but I don't even know how you put a line out for this without really knowing if Giannis and Dame are playing.
I know.
The total is 216.5. My assumption is they're not going to play.
Yeah.
Based on
I'm leaning that way as well. Yeah. And the line would kind of say that, right? Yeah.
I would think so, but but at the same point, it is game 6, right? And if they lose, if these guys are anywhere near ready to play, they should at least throw them out there a little bit, right?
Yeah, or that's it. Yeah.
So we'll see. This is a very hard game to cap because of that, at least on the Milwaukee side.
Yeah.
So let's start on the Pacers side. Let's see what you got on this one.
All right, let's go to Mr. Halliburton. I feel like he's finding his stroke a bit here. So I like his threes, over 2.5 made threes. Little juicy at -142 on DK, but we'll get to that in one sec. After only having, if you go down to his 3-point attempts, he only had 10 3-point attempts over the first 2 games. I think he had 3 and 7. But since then, he's averaged over 11 3-point attempts over the last 3 games. I think it's 11.3 3-point attempts. There you go, 12, 12, and 10.
Mm-hmm.
So this season, when he's had 10 plus 3-point attempts, he's cleared in 17 of 20 games, averaging 4.8 made threes in those games this season. If you go up to what he's done over the last 3 games, averaging 11 3-point attempts, he's 12 for 14 this season when he's taken 11 plus 3-point attempts, averaging 5.3. I feel like he's finding his stroke a bit. I feel like they're gonna be leaning on him to make some of these shots. So I like Halliburton here on the threes. Now I think a ladder could be in store. You see a lot of 5s there, right? 4s and 5s. So you can get 4+ made threes at +185 on FanDuel, 5+ made threes for +500 on FanDuel. And the other one I thought was interesting was for Halliburton to be the threes leader in the game at +330. So I think a couple different ways to play Halliburton. What do you feel about Halliburton here?
I mean, I'd probably lay off of the threes leader just because that is, so heavily dependent on Dame. If Dame plays, then there's probably no chance that Halliburton gets this one. But I don't know. I mean, Halliburton was a different player in this portion of this season than he is in this portion of the season. It was really post All-Star game. I don't know what happened. they made him the mayor of the All-Star
It was
break.
almost like post even that right. He got injured soon after the in-season tournament, right? It seems like ever since that in-season tournament, almost he's been different. Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe he's not fully recovered from that injury.
Yeah.
But regardless, I think it's good. I think it's a weird line. 2.5 3-pointers on a points line of 18.5 points or something like that is it's a big, 50% of his scoring is going to come from threes. So that is a little abnormal. But if you look, he's hitting the threes, right? But he's not necessarily covering the points in the recent games. So I guess that's a better play, right?
Yeah, that's why I was leaning that way. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the other way I would maybe contemplate for Halliburton, I do think he's in a good spot, maybe putting him as part of a builder and just taking his points down a little bit, like taking him down to like 15 points.
Yeah.
Or 16 points, which he's done in 3 straight games. That could be a really nice component to a builder, and could probably get that for like -3 or -400 or something like that. So it could be, one of 3 legs that could create a nice little parlay there.
Yeah, I like that. Just looking to see what you get. No, that's not going to work. Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that is Halliburton. Anybody else on the Pacers that you like?
No, but we have a comment here from J Tylus 45 on X saying really love the unders in this game. Siakam under 22.5 points. Naismith under 13.5 points. Wants to see our thoughts on that.
Well, I mean, I think as a general statement, anybody who plays unders this playoff so far is probably doing a lot better than anybody who's playing overs. So the scoring is like non-existent. This is the one series where there is actually scoring. The total is 216.5, which is like nothing. Like a Pacers game in the middle of the season would have been like 230. But
yeah, the Pacers scoring 94 points was their lowest scoring output of the season in whatever the game that would, game 1 or game 2, and then 92 points, I think, in the last game was their lowest scoring output of the entire season.
Yeah. But I think things will tighten up in these game 6s. So I do think playing unders is a smart play as well. I have an underplay actually in this game that I'll talk about in a minute. But Siakam, I mean, we were on Siakam
those first 2 games. Thought he was going to average 30 points for the series, and then
now he's barely. Let's just see versus Milwaukee. Yeah, he's putting up 17, 13, and 12. So I think that's good. I think the Bucks have probably made some adjustments and putting more focus on him.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think Siakam under is probably a good play. Siakam's like, he's like a 19-point guy anyway, right? Like he's not really a 23-point scorer.
No.
But he was out of his mind the first 2 games. So what was the other player?
Naismith under 13.5.
Yeah, he's at 12.5 or 13.5, depending on where you look. Yeah, he's down to 12.5 now. So you can see that the line opened up at 13.5. So so you're not alone.
I'd lean Pascal of the 2, right?
I think so. It's scary because he's going to get huge minutes.
Yeah.
This is I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is kind of like almost like a game 7 for both teams. Right? Like if the Pacers have to go back to Milwaukee and then play the Bucks, maybe with
Giannis and Dame,
with Giannis and Dame like healthier, that's not a good spot for them either. So I could see the starters getting big minutes. That's the only scary part about Siakam. But I like those. All right.
What was your under in this game?
All right. Yeah, I'll come back to the Pacers, but while we're talking about unders, I thought this was an incredible value. Bobby Portis under, what did I have? You can go under in many, many directions with Bobby Portis, but I like Bobby Portis under RA. So if you look, last game he had 11 rebounds. Well, hopefully he just gets tossed out of the game again, and then we catch this early. But he had 11 RA in 39 minutes of playing time. We have him projected for somewhere around like 33 to 8 minutes, somewhere in there. Like he could play big minutes again today.
Mhm.
But even if you look, he is. Yeah, let's just put the minutes filter on prop side cash on him. Let's just say with a minimum of 30 minutes, right? Which is way higher than what he normally plays, I believe. You know, he's only cleared an 18% of games this season for 13.5 RA. And then if you look at last season as well, he's only cleared in 34%, including last season. So I just think the line's too high. I think he'll get 10 rebounds. I think he maybe gets 1 or 2 assists, but to get up to 13.5, it just seemed like good value to go under, and it was plus money, plus 110. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think so. I like the fact that, like, you know, if Giannis and Dame don't play, like they're gonna rely on him. He's gonna have to try to score, and that might you know, take away from, you know, some of his looks to rebound and assist. So yeah, I think this is it's a nice look.
Yeah, and if Giannis does play, you know,
then he'll grab those boards.
No, I mean that's going to be more like if you got 2 more starters in there, that's like minutes away from Portis.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't know. It just seems
like a high line. Yeah, for him.
All right, 2 more plays here. Let's go back to the Pacers side. I like Obi Toppin.
Never have to twist my arm for an Obi play. Let's hear it.
Just like I don't understand why his line is so low. It's probably a trap, but if you look at the last 10 games, he's cleared. I had it at it was at 8.5. It's gone up to 9.5. Let's see if we can get it 8.5 anywhere. Points bet has it at 8.5, but it looks like everybody else has come up. But I would look at DraftKings because 9.5 on DraftKings is plus 114. So you could probably get it for like minus 135 or something like that.
Okay.
For 8.5 still. So let's look at it at 8.5. Right. So he's cleared an 8 of his last 10. And you know, we have him projected for probably somewhere between 16 to 20 minutes. He's cleared in 8 of 13 games this season when he's played Milwaukee, which is kind of crazy. Just pausing there for a second. He's played against Milwaukee 13 times this season. That's insane. Yeah, I mean they played a lot of.
Well, they played 5 times in the regular season, right? Something like that.
And then they played the in season, and then they've got the playoffs. So these teams have like so much experience against each other. But if you look and you raise his minutes to like 16, let's see what it is at 16. And even if we just cap it out 16 to 20, right, which is kind of where he'll probably land, right? He's cleared that in 3 of 4, and if you just take the cap off, he's cleared in every game except for 1. So including 6 straight. So I think he's in a good spot for 8.5 points.
I don't even put so much stock into looking at what he's done against Milwaukee because it's a very different Milwaukee team than he played any of those. But looking at the last 2 games and focusing on this series, I think this is a home run.
Yeah, he's super aggressive lately. So I think it's a good spot. All right, the other one, I couldn't really come up with the parlay, but I just want to throw the legs out there. TJ McConnell, 6 points. It's really just a leg of a parlay.
How many minutes is he playing though?
He's playing somewhere. He'll probably play about 15 to 16 minutes. Okay. So he's somewhere in there. But I almost got to pull this up because it's like so awesome to see. TJ McConnell, if we take him down, his straight line was like 7.5 or 6.5. But if you look at him at 6 points, right?
Yeah.
Forget even the minutes filters. If I just look, he's done this in like 30 straight games.
Wow.
Now a bunch of those were without
Halliburton.
Without Halliburton in, but even when you limit it down to 14 to 18 minutes, he's cleared this in 18 of 18 games this season. So I think if you can find 6 points on a book as a leg of a parlay, maybe 6 points for him, Halliburton 15 points. I think that's a really nice thing. He's super efficient when he's out there. If you want to keep it within McConnell, we put this one out in the Discord the other day. 6 points and 2 assists is also a nice little parlay as well. So something like that.
Nice. I like that.
All right. I think that's enough for this game, right?
Way too much. I have one more real quick.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Okay. On the Bucks side, Middleton over 8.5 rebounds, minus 106 on FanDuel. He's gone over in 4 or 5 games this series, averaging 9.4. Look, he hasn't played many big minute games dating all the way back to last season with all the injuries he's dealing with. But in the 3 games against Indiana that he's played 37 plus minutes, he's cleared in all 3 games. He's playing 37 plus minutes in this game. Regardless, if Giannis and Dame do play, if they don't play, Middleton will be out there for big minutes in this game, and the ball will find his way into his hands to get those 9 rebounds, I think.
Yeah, I would think so. Let's see what the line is. See, this is what tells me that Giannis is not playing, right? Let's just look at the last 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
Like Middleton's line is continuing to creep up, right? If Giannis wasn't playing, if Giannis was playing, I would think that
Line would go
7.5 rebounds would come back down to 5.5.
Wait, is it 7.5 everywhere now?
Yeah. What did you say? 6.5?
No, 8.5.
Oh, 8.5. Yeah, no, it's come down. Yeah, it opened.
It has
at
come down.
8.5.
Okay. Yeah, it was 8.5 minus 106. Now FanDuel's got 7.5 minus 120. Yeah,
All
love that 7.5.
All right, so maybe it is coming down with some anticipation, but still, I think that's a good spot for him. Like you said, he's the one star that's still out there. So I think he's
I keep refreshing Woj and Shams here, see if we can get some Giannis and Dame news while we're live, but not yet.
Nah, I don't think you're gonna hear anything until 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. The main event.
Let's go.
Sixers. This series should be over, man. I can't believe how that game 5 ended.
But the other game on Sunday, the Knicks stole that other game, right? So they each stole a game from each other. So I don't know if it should be over yet. I think
that's a good point.
It's gonna be a great game 6, regardless. Yeah,
it's a good point. I was watching the game with my son, and it was getting late, and I was like, all right, you can stay up till the end of the game.
Yeah,
and then I was like, there's no way this game's going to overtime, so I can make that statement. And then it ended up going to overtime, so you got an extra 20 minutes.
Nice.
Stay up. All right, so Philly is minus 2.5 in this game, and the total's 201. So that's kind of indicative of how much scoring is going to be. Which side do you want to start on, Knicks or Sixers?
Let's start with the Knicks.
Okay, what do you like there?
So we put this one out on X already. Real quick, just Josh Hart rebounds. Just feel like he's going to be. He had 9 rebound chances in the previous game. He grabbed all 9 rebounds. He had 0. Those were all defensive rebounds. He had 0 offensive rebounds. If you look at the previous 4 games of the series, he averaged 4 offensive rebounds per game. So some of those offensive boards will come back his way. I don't know how he only had 9 rebound chances after, the previous game. I think the only other game in the series where he went under this line, I think he had 6 rebounds. But even in that game, he had 13 rebound chances. His rebound chances are typically much higher. So I think you see something a little bit more typical of Josh Hart here.
Did he really play 53 minutes last game?
Yeah, with the overtime. Yeah.
That's the entire game.
Yeah.
He never came out of the game?
No, game 2, he also 48 minutes in game 2. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you not play this guy?
Yeah. Tibbs does not take him out. He is out there regardless. Yeah.
That's incredible. Nobody does that. My only struggle with him is I feel like I'm getting it every time I play him in this series. I'm getting it wrong. I'm playing the points and then he's having a big rebound game. I'm playing the rebounds. He's having a big point game. So
yeah.
I love this play, but I might just hedge it with a little points play as well, just to.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, because the points have been great too. If you want to pull the points up, I think he's done it in 4 or 5. Cleared his points line.
Yeah. Points are actually more consistent. This was the game.
Yeah.
that we played his.
Of course.
Played his points. So whatever. But yeah, I like Hart. I like him for rebounds. I like him for points. Maybe even like him for PR. So.
Yeah.
All right. What else? Anything else on the Knicks?
That's all I had on the Knicks. I think you had a play, right?
Yeah, we put this one out in the Discord yesterday. We got some good value on this one by locking this in yesterday. But McBride for 9.5 points. I really like McBride.
Love McBride tonight.
Yeah, what I like to find in the playoffs, just to kind of give you the methodology, is like find players that have rising minutes, right? Um, if you could see, started game one, he played 28 minutes in game one, then back down to 20, 22, but now his minutes are rising up to 26, up to 33. So we have him projected for about 27 minutes of playing time tonight. If you look at him with 25 plus minutes on the season, he's cleared this in 91% of his games. So he doesn't look like a young player out there. He looks super confident, super comfortable playing under stress. He's hitting his jumpers, like shooting really well, and he's open. He's open. Yeah. He's like, with the amount of pressure that Brunson puts on Philly, they're having to put like multiple guys on him. It leaves guys like McBride wide open.
And he's taking some minutes from DiVincenzo. I think something's a little bit off with DiVincenzo. And I think he's eating into some of those minutes, which is good for any sort of overbet on McBride.
Yeah, DiVincenzo's gone from playing like 40 minutes down to playing 25. So that's an extra 15 minutes up for grabs. And then also remember, Bogdanovich is out for the season now. So that's another bench player that could potentially different position.
I don't think we'll be seeing Alec Burks in this game. So, Tibbs is going to tighten up those rotations. And,
I can see Burks at some point in the playoffs, though, if the Knicks do advance, like hitting like a game-winning 3-point shot.
Yes, you could see that for sure.
That's just like what he's built for. All right, so that was that was my only other play on the Knicks side. I mean, I kind of want to play again, talking about builders. I think if you wanted Brunson for 6 assists, I think that's a great leg for any parlay as well. So look at that maybe. But let's move to Philly. What do you like over there?
All right, a little bit weird, kind of, but Nick Batum rebounds over 4.5 rebounds, -110 on FanDuel. You see he's got a nice little staircase over the last 4 games, 5, 6, 7, and 8 rebounds. I think because there was such a huge discrepancy in the rebounding between these two teams early in the series, with like the Knicks getting so many second chances because of their like awesome offensive rebounding, that like obviously Nick Nurse is like screaming at these guys to like crash the boards and do a better job rebounding. So I think that's part of the reason why you've seen this slowly creep up. You've seen it with Embiid too a bit. He's playing decent minutes. When he's played 28 plus minutes, he's cleared this line in 14 of his last 18 games, averaging 6.2 rebounds per game. So then that's about what he's been playing in this series here.
Yeah, 4 for 4 against New York this season when playing 28 plus minutes. I just looked at our model. We have him projected for 29 today. So that's spot on. Again, if you want to be more conservative, take him down to 4 rebounds and put that as part of a builder. But but I do like the upward trend. And really that's what he's out there to do, right? He's out there to play some defense. He's out there to hit a couple threes, and he's out there to grab some boards. So I like that. Beautiful. All right. That's a sneaky find. I don't think we've ever played Nick Batum rebounds before.
No, I definitely not. I don't think.
Certainly not on Philly. All right. Anybody else on Philly that you like?
I'm kind of leaning Tobias Harris fade under 12.5 points.
Oh my God. You never play unders.
I know. I think his line before game 5 was 10.5. It's crept back up to 12.5 because he had 19 points. I think he had 17 in regulation, another 2. But he just I don't even feel like I saw him out there. Like I've watched all these games. Like you couldn't even if you told me he wasn't out there, he was out there, I would believe you because it feels like he's just a non-factor in this series. I think he's already, I think we mentioned this. He's kind of like checked out, already saying he's going to play for Detroit next season. And I just think, I think we could get this line a little bit higher. You see, he was under it in the first 4 games of the series. So I don't know. What do you think about a fade on Tobias?
I mean, you won't have a lot of opposition from people because everybody likes to fade Tobias for some reason. I don't really love it because this could be his last game in Philly.
That's true. Good point.
So I feel like there could be some extra, not that you need more motivation in a game 6, but there could be just that extra desire to like go out the right way.
Mhm.
Even if they win tonight, they got to go back to New York. That's going to be a tough game to win. So this could be his last game, regardless of win or loss. And the other piece that concerns me is just the minutes, right? He played monster minutes last game and played really well. So it could be a good opportunity where the line's up a little higher, but I don't know. I would probably lay off. I do like his rebounds. That wasn't an official play, but while we're on him, I think he's been rebounding really well in this series. So I think that could be a good opportunity, is 6.5 rebounds if you want to play Harris over for something. So
yeah, playoffs get tough, man. These lines get sharp, the scoring down. We like to play overs. It's not easy.
Yeah. We had an under on Luka yesterday. Got totally burned. It was 33.5 points. He had 32 points, it was like he had scored like 10 straight points in the game. I was like, there's no way he's going to go under. And then the game just turned into a blowout. They call a timeout. I'm like, this is great. There was 6 minutes left in the game. Ty Lue cleared his bench. I was like, all right, they're going to pull him out. He's going to finish with 32.
Yeah.
Mavericks keep their players out there. Then they call a timeout. They bring Kyrie out. And they leave Luka out there for like one more series. He goes down, he scores 2 more, gets fouled, finishes with 35. I'm like, come on, man. Like, I'm trying to do the right thing and play some unders. Can't get luck there, but oh well. All right, let's go back to this game. Let's see. I got 2 more plays in this one. Let's talk about Embiid. So Embiid looks really hurt, is what I would say.
Looks hurt. He was battling a migraine or something last game. He's
Bell's palsy, Bell palsy. I don't know what's going on with this guy, but he I think he's in a good spot for rebounding and for assists tonight.
I just can't get on an Embiid play. I think just being a Knicks fan, the guy's a punk. I'm just so over Embiid. I have nothing to do with him. But yeah, let me hear it.
I think I think he'll get 12 rebounds tonight, but it's a little high for Embiid, especially against a Knicks team that does have size. You could see he doesn't really get there in most games, but he did play, big minutes last game. His minutes have been rising, as you can see the importance of the games have been increasing. So even if you take the 5 minutes of overtime, he still played 42 plus minutes. So if we just use 40 minutes, I think it was even 38 minutes.
Yeah, I saw that earlier as well. Nice hit rate at 38 or 39 plus minutes.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll just read them out. If you have 38 plus minutes, he's cleared in 10 rebounds in 6 of 8 games, and I like putting that with 5 assists in 7 of 8 games. Put those two together, you can get minus 109 on FanDuel. So 5 assists plus 10 rebounds, I think, is a nice little same game parlay for Embiid.
I hear you rationally. It's there. We're gonna move on from Embiid because I'm just over this guy. As a Knicks fan, I just can't.
Well, he did say New York City is his favorite city, which I thought was.
I got to watch what I say because he could be on the Knicks next season.
He probably will be. All right, my
Devin Booker.
Last play is Oubre. I think Oubre is in a good spot tonight.
I could see that one. Yeah.
12.5 points. Line seems very low, especially with Embiid. Embiid doesn't, not to bring up your guy again, but he doesn't seem to have the ability to do what he normally does right now, which is leading him to pass the ball a lot, right? That's why he had a triple-double in the last game. 12.5 points for Oubre. We have him projected for 38 minutes. He's played in 5 games this season at home where he's played 30 plus minutes with Embiid and Maxey. Mm-hmm. He's had 25 points, 15 points, 11, 15, and 19. So I think, 3 straight games of clearing plus a really good track record at home. I think he's in a really good spot. I think this line's like a point or two too low. So
agreed. I looked at this one earlier as well, and yeah, I think this is a good spot for him, especially going back to Philly, like you said.
Yep. Do you have anything else in this game?
We put out one play just to call it out earlier with MJC Locks on X for Maxey over 6.5 assists. You could check that right up out on X. But another play we were both loving, so we collabed on it and feeling really good about that one.
Yeah, and we're giving away $50 for that.
That's
one
right
too. So go follow us. Go follow MJC Locks. Go retweet that one, and we'll choose a winner tomorrow when it cashes.
There we go. I like that confidence. All right, I think that does it. Looking forward to these games tonight, especially the Knicks game. Let's hope for not another heartbreaker like the other night. But nice to get back in the saddle with you here, my friend. Let's keep these streak of podcasts going. Love talking NBA, especially around playoff time with you. But everyone, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate the comments, and let's all make some money tonight.